We got up early the next morning and piled into our rafts, and I was in the first raft and to shoot the rapids. And where we put in, very soon after we put in, it was Class 5 rapids. And Class 5 rapids is the roughest, most turbulent classification of whitewater that they have. So we were shooting this big rapid, and I remember the guide trying to guide it, but it's pretty impossible. And because this was packed with 10 people and all their duffel, and it probably weighed about 3 tons by the time it was all put together or more. And he just guided it into a hole of water that I still can see, of this big boiling river, and the bow just fell into this hole and then completely turned over. Wow. And I was sitting at the at the fulcrum of that flip. Everybody else was thrown out behind me into the river, but I and one other young couple were sitting in the bow of the boat. So all of a sudden, we're pinned underneath. So I'm fighting for my life and having the biggest adrenaline rush of my young life at that point, and just fighting for all I was worth. And it wasn't working. It was not working. I remember saying to myself, well, Libby, this is it. I guess you're at the end of the road here. And I remember feeling sad about that and surprised, because I always thought I'd be an old lady when I died. I think young people assume that you're going to be much older, or you don't even think about it. And I remember very consciously saying goodbye to myself, and I think I started taking water into my lungs and started drowning. What happened next was, all of a sudden, I became aware of being enveloped in this, I hate to call it this cliche, but I remember being enveloped in this pink cloud, and I felt totally encircled and enfolded and held in this pink cloud of love. It was just this overwhelming feeling of being loved, and I was given the knowledge that I was going to be not only okay, but better off than I was back there. And that was, so it's kind of, this is where I run into difficulty, and I know a lot of NDEers say this, is I just don't have words to describe, and I just didn't and still don't have words to describe how I felt. But it was this envelope of pure, unconditional love that was holding me. And I think I remember just sort of basking in this feeling and feeling like, oh, well, this isn't going to be so bad, and that there was nothing to fight about, there was nothing to fear, and this absolute assuredness that I was going to be better off and I could just lay back and enjoy it. So that's what I was, and then that was my state of mind. I was sort of just feeling that, and then I don't remember if I don't think I heard a voice, but no question about it, a question was put to me from this love energy. And the question was, Libby, are you ready? And with that question, I knew that this time it was my choice. And I could either go or stay. And I thought, whoa, far out. Far out. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to think about this. So I'm an analytical type. So I start weighing my options. Do I want to go or do I want to stay? And I'm busy analyzing this, and then I hear the voice again, and it says, Libby, we don't have all day here. What is your answer? What is your answer? And then that got my attention, like, okay, you're supposed to be serious about this. It's not time to enjoy anything yet. So I remember I felt, okay, well, I think I'll go. I mean, that looks much better than where I am now. And I started to, step out to say, yes, I'll go. And then all of a sudden, instead of that coming out as my response, it was, no, I'm sorry, I can't go yet. I haven't finished yet. I can't go, I haven't finished yet. And I thought, shoot, where'd that come from? So with that answer, and it was clear that was the official answer, I was physically infused on a molecular level with the energy in my body, and then the will, because the will to live had gone also. So I was given both. So I tried one more time to push against the buoyancy of the vest, and I popped out from underneath it. When I finally came across, when that book came out, I grabbed it and I just wept for every page that I read, because I realized that no, I had not had a psychotic break. This was sort of outside corroboration. And because many of the interviews, there are about 100 interviews in that book, and there's about 10 or 12 or 15 commonly experienced awarenesses, and I had most of them. And so that's when I began to think, well, that's what happened to me. I had a near-death experience.